Hey guys, it's Roderick and I'm here with the review of Astonishing Iceman #1. So we're continuing down the still with the Fall of X, and I decided to do Astonishing Iceman because I'm a huge Bobby Drake fan. Like, I really have appreciated and liked the evolution of his character since we first saw him way back in the day. Now, if you don't know, Bobby Drake is one of the original 5 X-Men. He is Iceman, and for the longest time, like, he was just kind of like the goofball, kind of do like you watch like Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. Like, he could do some ice blocks and some little icicles and something like that. But over the course of the years, like, he really kind of developed into this really powerful mutant character. Now, if you don't know, back in kind of the mid-90s, when Emma Frost was kind of part of the X-Men, she was like headmistress of the X-Men. She took over the body of Bobby Drake. And in that process, what she realized is that Bobby Drake was far more powerful than even he realized, and that he has really been holding himself back because he really did not want to be that powerful of a mutant. So when Hickman started with this kind of Krakoa age and the whole concept of Omega level mutants or whatever, Bobby Drake was one of those Omega level mutants. So Bobby Drake is an Omega level mutant with like ice manipulation. If you saw that Planet of X issue where they were terraforming Mars, you really got to see really how powerful Bobby Drake really was. And the fact that he's a gay man too, plus, check, I'm sold, right? So when we last left Bobby during the Hellfire Gala, right? Nimrod put like a napalm in his cells and he like melted away, right? So one of the things we also saw is that he was primary target number 2, right? With Jean Grey being primary target number 1, which also tells us how deadly or how important Orchis really views Bobby Drake and problematic to their whole mission of like cleansing mutants, right? So we start off now in Astonishing X-Men #1. They have these machines, this kind of like nanotech, going and attacking people who have the X gene. Now, what we find out is that it's not necessarily they're attacking mutants. There's this thing called experience, right? That people can take. It gives them like some mutant powers just for, a quick time. People use it for like sex or whatever like that. Kind of gets ecstasy, but with mutant powers type of stuff, right? So people use that. And that's what that's what the machines are attacking, right? So then all of a sudden, here comes Bobby Drake. And I'm like, well, aren't you dead? What happened? Bop. Anyway, he shows up, destroys the machines, kisses some random guy, and we're like, okay, what happened? So he then goes back to Antarctica. We see he's built this ice palace that's there. And as he's walking to the ice palace, parts of him are like breaking off. And then he like literally phases through the ice palace. He conjures like this little minion called Clyde, and he's talking to Clyde, and you really get to see inside like this ice palace, all like his important moments and all this stuff. But we find out is that the way he was able to come back was because of Romeo. Now remember, Romeo was his date to the Hellfire Gala. Romeo is an Inhuman. I don't really know a whole lot about Romeo, but what we find out from the exposition from Bobby is that Romeo was able to resurrect Bobby, or at least an empathic hologram of Bobby, right? And we find out when Bobby goes and finally sees Romeo is that the more Bobby goes out in the world and tries to use his powers and stays corporeal or solid, the more and more dangerous, because he's just going to evaporate. Because basically, after Bobby saves San Francisco, we get a shot into the Orchis with the director Pequod, or Agent Pequod, I guess his name is. And they're very upset because they thought Bobby Drake was dead. So they're trying to come up with solutions on how to kill Bobby Drake. They said they want to call in the cleaner. Anyway, so what's happening is that Bobby is vanishing and reappearing out of thin air, right? So he's not really like solid or whatever. So what Orchis decides to do is they decide that they're going to attack Bobby Drake's parents in Long Island to kind of flush Bobby out. And they've pulled in all these elemental bad guys or whatever to come in. So So that's pretty much sets us up for what's going to happen in Astonishing X-Men. We have this Bobby's relationship with Romeo. We have Orchis trying to eliminate Bobby. Bobby's not really communicating. We don't see him in this issue communicating with any other mutants. So it sounds like a pretty interesting issue. Very, very light, but at least kind of sets up for what we can expect. And I'm going to follow it because I think it's going to really, I think it was a very interesting choice actually to do an Astonishing X-Men, an Astonishing Iceman, even with Bobby's death. So I'm like, okay, let's see where this goes. I think Iceman is one of those characters that doesn't get a whole lot of love. I think everybody is always for the other ones. And I want to kind of follow this and kind of see where this story goes every month, as we go through this FallofX, because all of these books are all going to dovetail into this FallofX situation. So I'm trying to read and catch and review as many of those as possible. So anyway, that was pretty much Astonishing Iceman. Not a whole lot happened, but we have enough to keep us interested. Like, I have to say, I was interested in this book. I want to see how this goes with Bobby's kind of like corporeal existence, his relationship with Romeo, and really just kind of Agent Pequod, Orchis, and kind of what they're going to do to try to kill Bobby off or whatever like that. So anyway, if you're new to this channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, check out some of my other videos. I got a whole bunch of other FallofX stuff I'm going to do. I hope you guys are having a safe and wonderful Labor Day, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.